Unveiling the Depths of Tyranny, One Piece's social commentary on corruption and abuse of power. In the captivating realm of manga and anime, Eiichiro Oda's One Piece stands as a towering masterpiece, captivating audiences worldwide with its thrilling escapades, endearing characters, and profound exploration of human themes. By opening up different narratives, the world of One Piece is meticulously crafted, with detailed history, geography, and intricate systems of power. This attention to detail creates a sense of realism and immersion, drawing readers deeper into the story. One Piece is filled with mysteries and unanswered questions, like the Void Century and the true nature of the Devil Fruits. These mysteries keep readers engaged and constantly wanting more. And they are woven into the intricate tapestry of narratives that One Piece's expansive world offers. The pervasive presence of corruption and abuse of power emerges as a central theme, serving as a poignant social commentary on the detrimental effects of unchecked authority and the enduring struggle for justice.
正義はここにある。強靭な悪が海にあるならば、我々海軍がそれを全力で駆逐せねばならんのだ。絶対的正義の名のもとに。
The world government, a bastion of corruption. At the heart of One Piece's world lies the world government, an ostensibly benevolent organization tasked with maintaining order and harmony across the vast seas. However, beneath the veneer of authority and benevolence lies a dark underbelly of corruption, where power is wielded for personal gain and the pursuit of absolute control. The Celestial Dragons, the rulers of the world who have been in power for far too many generations to even be connected to what their ancestors accomplished, epitomize this rampant corruption. Their arrogance, disdain for the masses, and an insatiable appetite for wealth and power have led to widespread suffering and injustice. They exploit their positions of privilege to indulge in extravagant lifestyles, while simultaneously disregarding the plight of those they govern. The Celestial Dragons operated at the highest echelons of the world government. Morally reprehensible and above the law, they openly practiced slavery and murder since they knew there would never be any consequences. Even where they live is called the Holy Land or Marie Joys, where they own slaves and live a life of bliss and luxury. Unfortunately, the world government's exclusive objective is to protect the dragons and to ensure their reach over the globe is never called into question. They take such great care of their leaders that even admirals must answer their beck and call whenever summoned. Celestial dragons exploit this fact when bullying others and treating them as though they are beneath them. The Marines, enforcers of oppression. The Marines, the world government's ostensible enforcers of law and justice, often serve as instruments of oppression, silencing dissent and enforcing the corrupt agenda of their superiors. The unwavering loyalty and unwavering obedience demanded from Marines often lead to the suppression of individual freedoms and the perpetuation of unjust systems. Axe-Hand Morgan embodied the crudest and most direct way of why the world government is evil. Barbarically, he threatened an entire village's safety in order to lure Zoro out of hiding and take him prisoner. Moreover, Morgan had been more concerned with creating monuments to his ego rather than helping the people under his command. While arrested for flagrant incompetence and misuse of martial powers, he is only a symptom of the Marines' corrupt system. He was willing to sacrifice his soldiers in order to justify his cause. The battle for Marineford caused widespread chaos and panic. Daunted by the magnitude of Whitebeard's forces, Marine tried to retreat yet had the misfortune of encountering Akainu. Realizing his underling's cowardice, Akainu did not hesitate before reducing the man to a smoldering pile of pulp. To Akainu, anyone who did not directly benefit the world government was almost as bad as the pirates themselves. His warped and extreme concept of absolute justice may have helped corral the Marines in line, yet illustrated how their organization had virtually no moral foundation. Back in the Water 7 arc, since Tom had once helped Roger, he was offered a deal to create a sea train in exchange for his amnesty. After completion, Spandam had no intention of honoring his word and had his underlings fire upon Water 7 using Frankie's ships. Spandam wanted to imprison Frankie, but Tom sacrificed himself in exchange for his adoptive son's freedom. This devastated Frankie so much that he stood in the path of Spandam's sea train yet was run over by it en route to Ennie's lobby. Spandam's complete lack of integrity compromised what little credibility the world government has in the first place. Cypher Paul, the shadowy hand of tyranny. Cypher Paul, CP9, the world government's clandestine intelligence agency, operates in the shadows, wielding immense power and influence behind the scenes. Their ruthless tactics and disregard for ethical considerations often result in the violation of individual rights and the perpetuation of corrupt practices. In the world of One Piece, the Buster Call stands as a formidable weapon of the world government, a devastating demonstration of their immense power and unwavering determination to maintain control. This ultimate sanction, a coordinated assault by a fleet of warships, is capable of reducing entire islands to rubble, indiscriminately targeting both civilians and combatants alike. The Buster Call's sheer destructive power serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked authority and the potential for governments to abuse their power. It mirrors the devastating consequences of real-world events like state-sponsored violence, military interventions, and the use of overwhelming force against civilian populations. Water 7, after the Straw Hat Pirates were framed for the destruction of Enies Lobby, the world government initiated a Buster Call on Water 7, intending to eliminate the Straw Hats and their allies. CP9 is an extra-legal intelligence agency created by the government for illegal covert operations. It is led by Robin's antithesis, Kraven, an ambitious government functionary named Spandam. If Nico Robin is an exceptionally talented individual whose life was destroyed by an unjust government system, then Spandam is the very embodiment of that system. He is incompetent and untalented, and appears to have received his government position through the intercession of his powerful father. He is the head of CP9 in name only. The powerful personalities in the unit really decide on its tactics and operations. Befitting the head of a secret organization, he is always seen wearing a leather mask that obscures most of his face. He is unaccountable and unethical, and has made locating Nico Robin his life's mission. If 100 must die to save 1,000, we will kill 100 on the spot without hesitation. Oda V42, 198. Luffy and his crew reject the terms of this deal, and rather than allow Nico Robin be punished for the crime of defying government edict by continuing to live, the pirates instead decide to declare war on the world government. Luffy orders one of his crew members to set fire to the flag sitting atop the courthouse tower. Nico Robin is so incredibly moved by this show of defiance that she screams, "I want to live," for the first time in her life. Oda V41, 204. From that point on, Robin resists Spandam's attempts to transport her to the prison, at one point even biting a handrail to prevent Spandam from carrying her away. In the battle between rights and security, Luffy and his pirates refuse to accept the easy answer of condemning an innocent woman to death to prevent a potential threat at an unspecified time in the future. Though Water 7 continues with exciting and imaginative battles and a chase to rescue Robin, the true climax comes with Robin's acceptance of her own innate desire to live. Robin's homeland stands as a stark reminder of the world government's suppression of knowledge and its relentless pursuit of control. The island scholars, renowned for their deciphering of poneglyphs, were ruthlessly eliminated, and the accumulated knowledge of centuries was reduced to ashes. This act of destruction highlights the world government's fear of the truth and its willingness to silence those who seek to uncover it. Alarmed at what the Ohara scholars stood to uncover, the Marines were ordered to destroy the entire island. In a frenzy of cannon fire, they obliterated dozens of homes and the tree that their targets tried taking shelter in. A handful of survivors escaped to boats, but they didn't get far. After identifying the threat, Akainu used his devil fruit in order to incinerate the refugees and send their vessel to the bottom of the sea. None of the Marines knew why they had to attack the island aside from their direct orders. Robin's life is one filled with tragedy. She is the sole survivor of a government-ordered massacre of her home island. This island, named Ohara, was the site of a 5,000-year-old library and the institutions of higher education that surrounded it. Above all else, Ohara was famed for its archaeologists, who sought to uncover the history of the world. However, some of Ohara's discoveries about the foundation of the world government caused some in power to express concern. Ancient written records known as poneglyphs were scattered around the world, and they detailed the history of a great war using terrifying weapons of mass destruction. The people of the time were threatened ruthless and warlike kingdom whose rulers, it was discovered, later laid the foundation for the world government. The poneglyphs also detailed the locations of the weapons of mass destruction, to act as a deterrent should the warlike kingdom, or its descendant, the world government, become too powerful a threat. Using the pretext that the scholars of Ohara were researching these weapons of mass destruction, the government sent the navy to the island. The 5,000-year-old Ohara library was burned to destroy the information kept within. As the extent of O'Hara's knowledge was learned, orders came down from the world government to execute all of the scholars. To prevent any of the information from spreading, a few overzealous Navy men decided to collectively punish all of the islanders and massacre all the people. A lone Navy official refuses to murder Nico Robin, at the time only 8 years old, and secretly helps her escape. Unable to account for Robin's disappearance, the Navy places a huge bounty on her head. For the next 20 years of her life, Robin lives a solitary life, running from criminal gang, as law-abiding citizens refuse to have anything to do with her. When she is not betrayed, because of the risk she represents and the value of her bounty, Robin betrays others in order to stay alive. Only after finding Luffy and his crew has she found any kind of stability. The 1,000-year void, a legacy of censorship. The existence of the 1,000-year void, period of history deliberately erased from public knowledge, further underscores the world government's efforts to manipulate and control the narrative. This suppression of history serves to maintain their authority and conceal the truth behind their actions. The Void Century was an enigmatic era shrouded in secrecy, its details obscured by the passage of time and the deliberate actions of those in power. Only fragments of information remain, etched upon the enigmatic poneglyphs, which few can decipher. The world government's meteoric rise to power and the lengths to which they have gone to suppress knowledge of the Void Century suggest that their past is deeply entwined with dark deeds. Their ruthless silencing of those who seek to uncover the truth hints at a history filled with atrocities and a desperate desire to conceal their role in shaping the world. While the exact nature of the Void Century remains a mystery, the world government's actions paint a chilling picture of a regime willing to go to any lengths to maintain its grip on power. The poneglyphs, scattered across the globe, serve as tantalizing clues, beckoning those courageous enough to unravel the secrets of the past. However, the threat posed by these weapons had not been forgotten by the world government. The existence of these weapons meant the world government did not have a monopoly on the use of force, threatening the world's balance of power. Seeking a deterrent, world government intelligence agencies attempted to locate these weapons, with nothing to show for it for 20 years. As Luffy sails the seas in the age of piracy, a new cadre of leaders has taken control of the world government. These new officials feel that controlling the weapons only as a deterrent unfairly ties the hands of government officials. First strike capability is considered desirable, as pirates who are attempting to follow in the footsteps of Gold Roger have destabilized the world's oceans. In a world without automobiles and airplanes, this is a major threat to trade, exploration, and mobility. Unfortunately for Nico Robin, a major intelligence operation is occurring in Water 7 just as Luffy, Robin, and the crew arrive at the city. As Robin is the only remaining individual who can decipher the poneglyphs, the 9th unit of the government Cipher Police, or CP9 as they are called, captures her shortly after her arrival. The poneglyphs, guardians of lost history, scattered across the world, the poneglyphs serve as enigmatic remnants of a lost civilization, holding the key to understanding the true history of the world. Their existence challenges the world government's carefully constructed narrative and threatens to expose their misdeeds. The poneglyphs, ancient stones inscribed with the true history of the world, are shrouded in secrecy and suppression. The world government, the overarching governing body in One Piece's world, seeks to control the narrative, erasing and manipulating history to maintain their power. This suppression of knowledge mirrors the real-world attempts by powerful institutions to control the narrative and silence dissenting voices. It serves as a reminder of the importance of seeking truth and challenging established narratives. One Piece is filled with pirates, each with their own motivations and morals. While some pirates use their freedom to fight for justice and adventure, others abuse their freedom for personal gain and destructive purposes. The townsfolk of Kokoashi village are motivated by a desire to regain their freedom and independence from Arlong's oppressive rule. They have been forced to pay exorbitant taxes, have their livelihoods restricted, and have lived in constant fear of Arlong's violence. Arlong is motivated by a deep-seated hatred of humans, stemming from the discrimination he and his fellow fishmen have faced throughout their lives. He believes that humans are inferior beings and that fishmen should rule over them. This sets up a theme so early on that is only later fully fleshed out 400 episodes later. The Alabasta saga delves into the complexities of corruption and abuse of power, showcasing the devastating impact of a tyrant's rule on a nation. Crocodile, the corrupt king of Alabasta, manipulates the country's resources and exploits its people for his own gain, plunging the nation into chaos and despair. The story arc highlights the importance of overthrowing corrupt regimes and establishing a just and equitable society. In the Sabaody Archipelago arc, the dark underbelly of slavery and human trafficking is unveiled, highlighting the devastating consequences of power wielded for exploitative purposes. The island serves as a hub for the capture and sale of individuals, where innocent lives are treated as commodities for profit. The Straw Hat Pirates' encounter with this oppressive system sparks a profound realization of the depths of human cruelty, and the need to fight against such injustices. As seen when Luffy punches a celestial dragon without a thought of repercussion, the Fishman Island arc stands as a poignant example of One Piece's exploration of corruption and abuse of power, intertwining it with the thematic thread of racial prejudice and discrimination. The island's inhabitants, the Fishmen, are subjected to systemic oppression and discrimination, forced to live in the shadows under the oppressive rule of humans and the world government. The Fishman Island arc stands as a poignant example of One Piece's unflinching portrayal of racism. Fishmen, a race of humanoid aquatic creatures, face systemic discrimination and prejudice, often relegated to the fringes of society and subjected to unfair treatment. One of the most striking examples of this prejudice is the existence of human-only towns, where fishmen are explicitly denied entry. This blatant act of exclusion mirrors the real-world segregation practices that have plagued societies for centuries. The Punk Hazard arc further delves into the depths of corruption and abuse of power, showcasing the destructive reign of Caesar Clown, a scientist who has transformed the island into his personal laboratory. Under Caesar's tyrannical rule, the island is ravaged by his experiments, and the inhabitants, who are young children who have been trafficked to his island, are subjected to inhumane treatment and unsafe testing. The Straw Hat Pirates' encounter with Caesar's ruthless regime exposes the devastating consequences of unchecked scientific ambition and the exploitation of individuals for personal gain. But this is just the beginning of an entire overarching narrative within this world that showcases how Kaido's, one of the emperors of the sea, one of the most powerful pirates in the Grand Line, and Caesar Clown's alliance reveals the intricate network of underground connections that Kaido has established. He utilizes these networks for various nefarious activities, including weapon production, drug trafficking, and human experimentation. Originally, the world government recruited warlords to help thin and control the pirates' ranks. However, this had moral and practical ramifications, as seen in by most of the members like Gecko Moria and Crocodile. But the one who exemplifies this the most is Doflamingo. As a child, he lived with a deep-rooted hatred for his father, who decided his family would leave behind their lives as celestial dragons. Doflamingo had loved abusing his slaves and living a life of luxury. Now, as a warlord WTH unsurpassable power, he has usurped Dressrosa and claimed it for himself, despite how the nation was already aligned with the world government. Worse yet, he used it as a devil fruit smuggling operation that funneled powerful abilities directly to the beast pirates of Kaido, pretty much illegally running a cartel. Luffy exposes Doflamingo and humiliates the world government, which forces them to close the warlord program for good. Kaido's relentless pursuit of power has led him to develop a method for mass-producing devil fruits, powerful artifacts that grant individuals superhuman abilities. This reckless experimentation not only disrupts the natural order of the world, but also poses a grave threat to the balance of power, highlighting the dangers of unchecked scientific ambition and the potential for technological advancements to be used for destructive purposes. Not only do these artificial fruits give his men an extreme advantage, since these powers are so rare in the real world, but all the defective smile fruits are then fed as punishments. The United town of Ibisu, who are a povest and desolate town thanks to Kaido, are given these fruits, and as their hunger can no longer control their hunger, they eat them, and are cursed with only being able to show one emotion, which is truly heartbreaking. Kaido, who took the samurai country of Wano over by force, uses his power and fear to set up different factories across the land. These in turn ruin the country, and many are forced into this unjust labor of his. The Straw Hat Pirates, beacons of hope and resistance. Amidst the backdrop of rampant corruption and oppression, the Straw Hat Pirates emerge as champions of hope and resistance. Their unwavering belief in freedom, their determination to protect the innocent, and their relentless pursuit of justice embody the spirit of rebellion against tyranny. Their fight against Kaido and his forces represents a struggle against the forces of oppression and a call for a world where joy and laughter can freely flourish. Even if they are pirates, they stand for freedom. One Piece's enduring relevance, a call for critical thinking and action. One Piece's social commentary on corruption and abuse of power extends beyond mere storytelling. it serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of critical thinking, vigilance, and action against oppressive systems. The series challenges its audience to question authority, challenge injustice, and strive for a world where power is wielded responsibly and for the betterment of all. In a world grappling with issues of corruption, inequality, and the suppression of human rights, One Piece's message remains as relevant as ever. The series serves as a beacon of hope, inspiring readers to stand up for what is right, fight for the oppressed, and strive for a world where joy and laughter can freely flourish.